I told you I was gonna be back for a second season. It only took me what, 6, 7 months, but it's okay. It's a process. The art is always a process. So once again, my name is Justin McLaughlin. Why does that matter? Well, I'm a guy who created this program called Ovation English Through Acting. What is it? It's basically another way to learn a language, but you're not only just learning a language, you're learning how to be a performer, so that you know how to express yourself in that language, so you know how to be yourself in that language. If you don't know anything, if you only have one language in your vocabulary, learning a second language is extremely hard. Why is it hard? Well, it's not just memorizing the words and learning the words, but when you learn another language, you become a different person. It's almost like starting over as a baby. When you're starting, when you learn how to speak your native language, it's blah 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 blah. But as an adult, it's a little bit different because we're more aware of who we are. So when we make mistakes, when we're learning it, we feel kind of embarrassed and we feel ashamed and we feel so stupid. And it's a very hard process. It's a very emotional process, learning a language. And for most of us who have had to do it, it's because we've had to. We've moved to other countries, or we needed opportunities. We need to meet opportunities or get opportunities. In order to get them, we had to learn a different language. In my case, I moved to Ecuador, so I had to learn Spanish. I had no choice. I was living in a foreign country and I had to learn Spanish, or else I wasn't going to work, I wasn't going to do anything, I wasn't going to be able to support my family. So yeah, it was really, really important. And what I noticed was it wasn't just the actual language. It was the biggest part was the emotional part. Starting over in communication in a language, it's really difficult. I went from being, having my own businesses and being a professional performer, musician in New York City, to sounding like an infant in Spanish. It's really horrible, and then have people look at you like an infant. Like I always tell my students when I moved to Ecuador, when I said something that was wrong, I people wouldn't just look; they'd actually laugh, or they'd say, "Oh, qué lindo." It's like, okay, here, and it's really hard, because you feel like you're stupid. You feel like you don't know anything, and people perceive you as that, because you can't communicate as clearly as you normally can in your native language. So it's very difficult to just go out in public and try to speak in that second language, because it's you. It's when you're speaking, it's you coming out. It's you representing yourself. So if you don't have the best vocabulary, or the best pronunciation, people are going to think, hey, they're going to think things that aren't true. But that's the part you have to realize. Just like learning an instrument, when you pick up a guitar, nobody plays right away. You have to, struggle, and you have to have all that pain until your fingers get strong. So when your fingers get strong, then they can, make those notes clearly. Same thing here with learning a language. It's all about all these muscles. This is a muscle. These are all muscles. These make those sounds, and they have to know the sounds of that language that you're learning. They have to memorize. They have to be developed to create those sounds fluently. So it's a process. And during that process, if you are living in a foreign country like myself, it's even harder. It's even harder because you have to be in public. I was working as a teacher in an Ecuadorian school, so I had to communicate. Yes, it was an international school. I taught theater and English and things like this, all in English, but the principals and other teachers, HR, and they were all Spanish speakers. So I had to know how to communicate with them. So, obviously, so I can get what I need, and they understood me, and they can get my message, and, so forth. Just basic communication. So it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of pressure, because you're listening to people speak in that language, and you're just not sure if you're really getting the message correctly. And a lot of times we just say, when people say, "Do you understand?" We go, "Yeah, sure," but we don't understand a thing. We didn't get it. We didn't get anything. But we're too afraid to say, "No, I didn't get it. Can you repeat that?" Because of our pride, our ego. So we just say, "Yeah, I got it," and then we leave and we go, we have nothing. We have nothing. But like anything, you have to understand that processes, when you're involved in a process, there's going to be mistakes. There has to be mistakes. Okay? Anytime you're going to learn something, it's a process. You're going to make mistakes. That's the part of it. That's how you're going to learn. Anybody who has learned an instrument, who has learned a skill, dancing, art, anything, nobody's good at first. You're going to make all the mistakes in the book. But those mistakes are what really teaches you. And overcoming those mistakes, learning from them, and correcting them in front of those people, that's what gives you the confidence. Because at first, those people go, "Huh? What? Excuse me? Perdón? No entiendo. What? To, ya, verdad, okay. Qué bueno, ya, yo entiendo todito, clarísimo." Okay, and so when they start, nodding their head in acknowledgement, it's such a great feeling, such a great accomplishment. It's really almost the same as when I was on stage, with my bass and I was playing. I spent all that time learning. Then when I finally got to the stage and had people bouncing, and it was amazing, same type of feeling. So that's the important part of understanding language and communication. So then one of the main reasons why I created this program is because I am an artist. Okay, I always identified as an artist. Even before I knew I was, I just always knew who I was and what type of person I was. And my goal was to be an artist, and I did. Okay, my dream was to be an artist, and I did. I was a performing artist. I was professional. I achieved my dream. Okay, and by moving to another country and meeting foreign artists and seeing them struggle in a region where maybe art isn't as popular and doesn't give as many opportunities as maybe somebody in the United States or Canada, where art is prevalent, where it's big. It's so hard because these people work so hard to learn their craft, and they have no place to develop them. No place to develop them. And they're so talented. And all they want is a chance to show that talent. So I created this program to help them. So, if a singer from South America or Europe, really wants to become a singer in the States, I'm training them. I'm training them to sing in English, to understand the emotional tones of English. Same thing with actors. I have actors from Italy. I have actors from Spain that I work with, and they're professional actors in their region, but they know that they're worth a lot. That's the amazing thing, is that these people know that they have more to give, but they just don't have the opportunity. But they're getting the opportunity for themselves by learning English, by going through the process. And these are adults going through the same process of having to start over. Okay? But they're doing it because they want to spread their art. They want to share their art. They want to give the world what they're feeling. The pain that every artist has. All we have as artists, we have pain and suffering for just having the dream, for having that pull. And we don't know why we get this pull, but we follow it. Okay? We are the people that actually follow what our souls are saying to ourselves, saying, and we follow it. And it's not easy. Yeah, people have seen me on stage and say, wow, you're so lucky. You get to be a musician. You get to play live. And I'm like, yeah, man, but do you know what I had to go through to get here? It's not like, I picked out a guitar from Excalibur Stone. It was like, okay, here we go. No, man. It's horrible. It was horrible. But I saw other people doing it, and I just got so jealous. And I was like, I need to do that. And I did whatever I could, whatever it took to make that happen. So now I want to make that happen for other people. Because, a lot of people have their destinies or their paths. And I've been following my path. And in my path, I've had to do everything alone. Everything I've ever accomplished. And when you listen to a silent ovation, you listen to my story, everything I did alone. I had to figure everything out for myself. And I wish I had this guy, somebody like me when I was younger and going through all of this, understanding what it was to be an artist, understanding, what it was to move to another country, understanding your purpose in life. I had to figure that out all myself, and guess what? I made mistakes at every single step of the way. Every single step. But I made it out the other side. And man, I'll tell you, there's nothing better than going through problems and situations that are really not great and coming out the other side. So by doing that, that has given me more power, more confidence to help other artists, to help anybody who wants to make a change in their life and do something for themselves, for the world, okay? That's what Ovation is, okay? We're here to help people with a purpose who really are listening to themselves and can't ignore what their soul is telling them. And they just need, they need a system. They need a formula, a format, and I got that. I have the formula because of all those mistakes. So that's the amazing thing. So during this season, well, let me go back a little bit. Before, today, after a silent ovation, I've been actually perfecting my program with students from all over the world. I've been so lucky. I've had students from Asia, Europe, Latin America, I mean everywhere. And everybody has a different story, a different purpose. And I really have connected with these people and really seeing their pain in knowing where they want to go, but they just don't have all the tools yet. But I can see that's what they want. So, and a lot of these people have amazing stories. You don't understand the stories behind wanting to learn a language. People think it's just a hobby. Oh, cool, I get to go on vacation. No, these are people that have to, that need to. It's a whole nother ball game. And when you hear their stories, you're going to understand what it's like. And hopefully, if you're in the similar situations, you're going to be inspired and understand that, yeah, it's possible for you too. So that's why I'm so excited about this, okay? Because it's not about me anymore, okay? It's really not. My story is mine, but my story is for the people, okay? My story is not for me. My story is for you, for everybody to learn from. If you want to, if you need to. Because I've made the mistakes. I've done everything. I've done it all. Okay? So I want to make your journey easier. Because if your journey is easier, that means you have more capacity to do things, do amazing things for the world. You know, I have children in this world, and they're going to be here longer than me, and I want to know that they're in a really great place with really great people, with really great intentions. So that's, as a job as an artist, and every artist should know this, your job as an artist is to create and then to inspire or teach. Give back. Okay, that's our job, is to give back. So that's what I'm doing. And I to be honest, I love it more than being on stage. I love being on stage, but there's nothing better than seeing that in somebody when they know, ooh, I can do this. Wow, I can actually make this happen. It's amazing to see that click in people, Because most people, they don't feel like they can do the things that they dream of, because we've lost that. As children, we're in a special training of imagination. That's such a great tool. Learning to imagine things and just make them happen. As a kid, Hey, let's play cops and robbers. Okay, I'm going to be a cop and you're going to be a robber. Or we're going to go to the moon. Okay, we're going to go on a space shuttle and go to the moon. Okay, so ready? 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh my God, be careful of the aliens. Whatever we thought of, And somehow along the line, society told us, stop imagining. Imagining is for children. Adults don't imagine. We're in the real world. Well, what do you think's creating everything? It's children. And I don't mean real children. I mean adults who have not given up that imagination. They have those amazing ideas in their head and they go, I want to do that. Ooh, that's interesting. I want to do that. Whereas most people go, this is a good idea, but never. No. But that's why artists are so important in the world. Creatives are so important. Because we hear an idea, we think an idea, and right away we go, how do we make this happen? And we know, once we say, we're ready for this, we know that there's going to be a lot of pitfalls. It's not going to be an easy road. We know that. Well, we also know that's part of the process. Because especially when you're creating something new like this, nobody knew this was a whole new idea. I didn't know how people were going to react. I didn't even know myself what it was. I just had an idea and I just built it, and just little by little, just put it all together from the experiences I had. This is all from the experiences I've had as a performer, as a teacher, as a human, as a father. That's where this program came from. So really, I really want to help people create things that are great, create things that are new, We see a lot on social media. People are just replicating what's trendy. Okay? Don't follow trends. Create them. Don't follow trends. Create them. That's the point. How are we going to go anywhere if we keep following the trends? Create them. So somebody sees something new and they go, wow, that's amazing. I want to do better than that. And so they top it. And then that person tops, and then it goes up and up and up and up and up. And that's evolution. I mean, that's just pure evolution. And that's what this is all about. Okay, so I'm really excited about this. I'm so glad it took me this long to really put this together, because I really didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted for season number 2. But going through what I went through in this journey that I've been going on in these past 6 months, really just, it solidified it. Totally solidified it. And hearing these amazing stories from my students is just, I feel terrible knowing that I'm the only one hearing these amazing stories. And knowing these amazing people who I know can inspire. I know these people can inspire. So my job is to bring them to you. Okay? And that's, as I said, that's what I love doing. You know, that's what I want to do. I just want to put people on a stage. I just want to put people on a stage so they can shine and, you know, they get their day and other people can be inspired by that, and they just, you know, they follow their journey and they keep going. Okay, and obviously during this, you know, I'm going to be talking a little bit about myself because, of course, I love, you know, I am, you know, what they say, you know, I am a little, so I think a little highly of myself. So what? I have the right to feel high about myself. You know, I did a lot. I accomplished a lot. You know, I went through a lot of shit, you know, to get this. So I think I deserve to be king. At least in my own world. I don't want to be king of anybody. I just want to be king of my own world. And that's pretty much what this is. This is my world. I've created my own world. That's the amazing thing. So, and I want to really introduce all of you to my world. And hopefully, you know, all of you can create your own little worlds that everybody can kind of share and experience and see what's going on. So this is just going to be, you know, this is just the introductory episode. Really, I don't want to talk a lot about myself because I'm just so excited to you know, introduce all these amazing people, and we'll have a lot of discussions, and hopefully, you know, you guys will have questions and want to know more about these amazing people, and maybe you can be one of them. Maybe you can be one of them, and maybe you can be king of your world. So, this is Justin McLaughlin, creator of Ovation English Through Acting. And once again, it's great to be back. It's great to see all of you. And I'm so excited. And get ready. Episode number 2 with our first guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is. All my guests are going to be surprises. Gotta keep it interesting, you know? Gotta keep you coming and wanting to know what's going on, right? So, ciao, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. It's so great to be here. I love it. You know, it's so great. I love it. Don't go. Don't go. But no. Actually, I need my space.